We are back on MorningLine. Actually, we lost James. If he calls back, we'll take him back on the line. The number 737-7587 for Josh Horn from Social Security, among other things. And I know you always like to punch this up for folks. There are an incredible number of things you can do on a My Social Security page or online services, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And we continue to try to educate everybody about those options, because for a lot of folks, it's much more convenient to sit at home and take care of your business online than have to come down or call in and, you know, be on hold and, you know, wait in line and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And some of you may be saying, I don't touch computers, that is not my thing. But, you know, you may have a son, a daughter, a brother, an uncle, whoever that can help you get online, establish your My Social Security account. That's kind of the first step, because that's like online banking. If any of you done any of that, you create a password. There's some extra security features you can have the option of setting. We have a lot of security features built into the accounts. And then once you're in there, you can look at your earnings record, make sure that's all, you know, squared, and that you're getting credit for everything, that every place you've worked. You know, you can actually now request a replacement Social Security card. That's the newest feature, so you don't have to come down and wait in lines like the person we were talking to. If you go somewhere and they say this is laminated, I can't see the security features, you're going to have to get me another card. Or you know you've got a job coming up that you're going to have that. You know, go ahead and get on your Social Security account, request a replacement card, and it'll come, you know, in a couple of weeks in the mail, and it's as easy as that. But you can also file for benefits, retirement, Medicare, disability benefits. You know, there's so many things, and then we have an outstanding fact page too that you can kind of answer some of your questions.
It's just fun sometimes going in there and surfing around and just looking and finding details about some jobs you did in the old days and how much money you made or how little money you made when you first started. It's like stunning, but it is very interesting. It's the story of your life financially on there pretty much. You can go back and remember, what job was it that year I did where I made, you know, $7 an hour doing what, you know, and it's fascinating. So let's go to Angela next. Angela, good morning. How are you?
Hi, how are you? Good morning.
Good.
I had a question about what age is the earliest I could file if I was born in 1959?
For retirement benefits?
Yeah, for Social Security. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so the earliest you can file for retirement benefits, no matter when you were born, is age 62.
So one more year. How old? What are you? 61?
No, I'm 60. I'll be 61 this year.
Okay.
And I've heard conflicting. Some people said I would have to wait till 62 and a half, and others were saying, oh, you could file at 62.
Yeah. Now, anybody under their full retirement age is subject to that annual earnings limit. So, you know, if you're not working, or you're working under that $18,000 mark, you can draw as early as age 62. Now, there will be a permanent reduction. So every month you draw before your full retirement age.
Which would be 65 for her?
Well, for her it'd probably be 66 and 4 months, I believe, or maybe 66 and 2 months, something like that. But for every month you draw early, you're going to take a little bit of a reduction factor, and that's a permanent reduction factor. And so that's something to consider, you know, whether it's better to take it now or wait. And everybody's situation is a little bit different. But yeah, everybody's option is age 62. That has not changed.
Not 62 and a half, 62. So are you planning on taking early retirement, Angela?
Yes, I am, because I'm not going to be. I saw too many people die before they were able to collect their benefit.
Oh, sure. You know, I mean, and if you need it now, or that's reasonable. And if you, I certainly hope you live another long 20 years or whatever. But I mean, if she's thinking, hey, I don't know what my prospects are, I can use the money now, go ahead and take it. I'm with you. Good for you. And so, yeah, it's not 62 and a half, it's 62 for you.
Okay, I have one other question. How far in advance from age 62 should you go in, or do you have to actually be 62 at that time?
Yeah, to get it ready to go.
Yeah, I usually recommend 2 or 3 months.
Before.
Yeah, that's about.
So it can kick in right when she turns 62, start getting checks.
Yep, yep.
That's awesome. Yeah, do it a couple months before.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. You have a good day.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Yeah, I guess we should clarify again. And I always like asking why that decision, because I mean, a lot of people maybe at first blush say, heck yeah, I'm going to take it early, and they don't realize how much potentially that can cost them as opposed to if they could make it to full retirement. Now, if you're Angela, that makes perfect sense. She needs it. She's not sure how much longer she's going to live. Let's take it now. But if you're healthy and you're working and you don't really need it right now, I mean, the smart person is going to put it off.
Most of the time, your break even, and there's different break even calculators that you can say, okay, if I take it now, I'm going to get $800 a month. If I wait until 66 and 4 months, then I'm going to get $1,100, so that's $300, or maybe it's $1,200, whatever it is. I'm going to get $300 or $400 more per month. Well, there's a certain number of years that's going to be a break even. It could be 8 years, 10 years, 20, 4 years, whatever it is, and that's going to tell you. It's going to help you make a decision. But like you said, that we have a lot of folks, unfortunately, who have medical issues. Nobody in their family lives beyond age 70 because of whatever, cancer, whatever it is. And so you have to take a look at your situation and make a decision. And then we have some folks, everybody lives to be 100, and so it just makes perfect sense for them to wait, because they know for the long run they're going to want the higher benefit.
Yeah, it's a tricky thing to decide. I mean, no one is promised tomorrow, but like you said, you can look at your family history, you can look at your own health prognosis and what doctors are telling you and what you're dealing with, and decide for yourself. I mean, I can see the appeal of saying, shoot, I'd like to go ahead and take that early retirement now, and I've got some other things I can do. And if that works out for you and you can do more while you're younger, no problem. But I am always stunned at just how much money that costs you. If you're healthy enough and you can make it to full retirement, I mean, you are making, just the fact that you've taken it 3 years early, over 30 years of earning, really tears a chunk out of there for you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you, folks, if you can put it off, you should, as long as it's something you don't need immediately. I guess that's just, it's almost like it's a penalty in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, you definitely should get less if you take it earlier. That's common sense. But the amount that you get less, to me, sometimes is like, wait a second, that's a stunner. I'm waiting till full retirement unless I have no choice.
Well, remember when Social Security was, first put in place, the average life expectancy was only 63 or 64, and full retirement age was 65. And so now our longevity on average is 80, in the upper 80s, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so that's where it's a totally different scenario than when the Social Security Act was first put out there.
Yeah. All right. And I always like to touch on this as well. It's been a while since we brought this up, just with whether or not you need an attorney.
Yeah.
And I know you don't advocate one way or the other, but let's just remind folks, and the first question everyone says is, Nick, are you crazy? How on earth do you expect me to pay for an attorney? I need Social Security, or disability, and I've applied and I've been rejected. You think I have money to pay an attorney? Explain that.
Yeah, first and foremost, I mean, we do have technicians there that want to help you, that can help you through the process. But there's folks out there who want some additional help, somebody like a representative or an attorney to help them. There's a number of Social Security disability attorneys out there, and they do not collect a fee unless you get your benefits, and they are paid out of your retroactive payment. So if it takes you 2 years to go through the appeals process and finally get your benefits, you're protected for those 2 years, and so we'll pay you for those 2 years once you're approved.
Get a lump sum, right?
In a lump sum, and your attorney is paid either 25%, the lesser of 25%, or $6,000 out of that retroactive pay. And so you shouldn't, if you feel you need an attorney, a lot of times it's better to give up a portion of your retroactive pay, than go it alone. So.
That $6,000 is $6,000 that you won't get, but if it helps you get the benefit. My rule of thumb, and I've not been there yet, I would consider doing an attorney if I have tried applying on my own, maybe once, maybe twice, or whatever, and hit a roadblock, and I'm convinced I deserve the benefit, but just think, there's something I'm missing here.
Yeah.
And so I would try it on my own first. And then if it's just not happening for me, maybe I'd hire an attorney. And these guys are experts. That's all they do. And maybe there's something I missed, and they know how to put the application together in a way that gets the benefit that I didn't know. That's kind of, and that's just off the top of my head, but that's the way I'd go about doing it.
Yeah, and I think that's good. And with the, when you first apply, I like to tell folks this too. List all your conditions.
Right.
You know, you may say, well, I had a heart attack and so I can't work. But if you don't list the fact you also have diabetes and you also have, you know, sleep apnea and you also have, you know, 6 other conditions that you don't list on there. Because sometimes 1 or 2 conditions aren't enough, but it's the combination of all of them. And, you know, honestly, I think a lot of times attorneys are the ones, you know, you first apply and you only list one thing, and then you get an attorney and the attorney says the same thing I'm telling you. Well, we got to list everything. So make sure and list everything whenever you apply, whether you have an attorney or not.
Real quick, we'll squeeze in James. He's back. James, you've got about a minute. Go ahead, James.
Yeah, I was wondering now, what's the difference in like SSD and SSI? I got SSD, and I'm not, you know, I get my Medicare, but I don't get, you know, SSI. And I've got another thing. I know people who are incarcerated. Do they still get to receive their Social Security or SSI benefits?
So the quick answer to your second question is no. If you're incarcerated and convicted, you cannot receive benefits.
Okay.
But the first question, Social Security is what you work through and pay into through your wages, and that's the Social Security taxes that you pay in. SSI is a needs-based that's taken out of general taxes, and so it has to do with your income and resources. The disability decision is the same, but the non-medical factors, that whether you paid into the system enough or whether you're low enough income and resources to qualify, those are the differences there.
Yeah, with SSI, there's people that maybe, for whatever reason, have never been able to work, never put into the system. So SSI, to me, is the true safety net. And the benefit from SSI is not as good as Social Security disability. Disability is where you were able to work, and you put money into the system, and then you became disabled, and you're likely going to get a larger benefit, and some of the requirements there is not as stringent as SSI. SSI, you've never put anything in, perhaps, or very little, and it is the safety net, and it is very strictly regulated, and it is not a lot of money. So if you're on SSD, that's better than SSI, period. It just is. It's better, but sometimes people have no choice, right? Any parting shots, Josh, my friend, that we should say? Just go online, make yourself a My Social Security page.
Yeah, and be careful of the scammers. Guys, be careful.
That is such, of all the things we talked about this morning, that latest scam where they tell you to push 1, actually connect you with Social Security, and then listen into the call, what will they think of next?
I know.
Man, just anyone asking anything about that calls you, like I've said, 100% of the time, whether it's Social Security, IRS, police, sheriff, hang up and don't worry about it because it's bogus. 100% of the time. You're awesome, man.
All right,
it's good to see you. We'll see you again in a month. All right?
We'll do it again.
Take a break. I'll be back with a program you know about tomorrow right after this. Stay with us.